today we're going to discuss what would happen and where GTA 5's story would go if Steve Haines died in the mission The Wrap Up right after Agent Sanchez. So how would this work? Well, do you remember when Michael asks Dave later on in the mission what happened to Haines? He got caught in a crossfire? Well, in this reality that is exactly what would happen, and Steve Haines would be dead before Dave and Michael even make it out of the court center. Upon hearing the news, the crew would be relieved, especially Michael and Dave, who would be able to pin everything on Agent Sanchez and Steve. But with Steve dead, his and Dave's higher-ups would now start investigating Dave, and it wouldn't be too long until Dave would be brought in for questioning, but just beforehand he would call Michael to warn him to get the hell out of Los Santos and never come back. And Michael would that same day pack up his family and they would all go on the run. And unfortunately for them, they would have to stay on the run and would keep moving across the US to avoid the authorities. Dave would tell the authorities about Michael's deal with him, and of course they would go looking for Michael. Dave would probably get somewhere between 5 to 10 years in prison. However, the authorities would never find the infamous Michael Townley. But what about Franklin, Trevor, and Lester? Well, the big one is off the table. Without Michael there, of course, that just wouldn't be able to happen. And on a side note, let's talk about Solomon Richards, who is majorly screwed since Devin Weston would in this reality be free to do with the movie studio whatever he wants. Therefore, Meltdown would never be released and Devin Weston would just tear the movie studio down and turn it into condos. But Lamar is also screwed since Trevor and Franklin would have to fight through the dozens of ballas that kidnapped Lamar and brought him out to Paleto Bay without Michael there as backup. And with that, the shootout would be a lot more rough and Lamar would in the process get shot right as they are escaping. Also, real quick, before you continue watching this video, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also check out my second channel. That is where the Kingdom Hearts content is nowadays. And if you want to, check out my channel memberships. But after this shit show, the trio of Franklin, Lester, and Trevor would have to get together to plan out the final showdown. But this time things would be a bit easier as Steve Haines is dead, Dave Norton is in jail, and Devin Weston also wouldn't be a threat necessarily, but he did scam them for the cars and therefore he had to be killed too. So with Trevor taking out Stretch for nearly getting Lamar killed and Franklin taking out the Triads, who would by the way still be after Trevor for what he did to Tao Chang at the beginning of his storyline in Sandy Shores, the unlikely duo of Franklin and Trevor would then get together to go to Devin Weston's house, and he would be dealt with in the same manner as in the original, ensuring that he would never be found. So in the end, it's pretty safe to say that Steve dying wasn't the best case scenario for Michael and, in all honesty, for the crew altogether. I mean, yeah, they're all alive thankfully, but they aren't as rich as they were in the original, and Michael definitely got the short end of the stick here as he will have to spend the rest of his life on the run, constantly looking over his shoulder and whatnot. With that said, I want to thank you for watching this GTA 5 What If. Leave your thoughts and opinions on this topic in the comments down below. Also, feel free to suggest any what ifs that you would like to see and I'll reply and tell you if I can make something of that or not. Until next video stream, bye bye.